Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of Matt and Rob Talk About F1. We're your hosts. I'm Rob, and with me today is
Matt.
All right, Matt, how's it going?
All good in you.
Yeah, not too bad. We had a nice weekend with a lot of Formula One action in Bahrain.
Yes.
For the 2020 Bahrainian Grand Prix. Yes. What do you think to the weekend?
Man, I don't know. Weird. I would say the word
Weird.
is, I don't know, mixed feelings, really.
Yeah.
Sunday felt weird. Like, at the end of the race, wasn't that enjoyable after, well, the first lap incident, really. And then,
Exactly. Yeah.
Was weird. Couldn't really focus in the race after.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Shall we do the qualifying stuff first before we get to the race?
Let's get rid of the qualifying and we can jump into the race.
I think we had some predictions.
Yep.
I
have them here if you want. I have them here.
Yeah. If you could read them out for me.
So you said Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. And I said Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen, apparently.
The classic three, the trio.
Yes. And none of us got it right, I guess. So
No, not exactly.
yeah. For once we didn't, I don't know why, but well, it was close enough.
Yeah, Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen. Actually, should be the sort of the norm of the year. We didn't bet on.
Somehow we didn't bet on this one.
No.
Weird. Anyway.
On the classic.
Yes.
The Ham, the Bot, the Verstappen. Right. I think from the top three, same as usual, right? Like Bottas, amazing from Hamilton to come back. He's just won his 7th World Championship
the guy
title.
is just, it doesn't. I don't think he. Yeah, I think it's everywhere he wants to get it. I think it doesn't. He's like will to win doesn't go away. It's like could win 10 more championships. I think he still wants more and more and more. So
yeah, that's absolutely crazy that he's still got that motivation and like. And just the pure will to like put it.
Like it looked really easy. Like the after qualifying, he just was like, just P1, just
P1.
Basic stuff.
But he's also always like quite. I don't know if humble is the right word, but he's always like saying, "Oh yeah, there's always bits and pieces you can probably do better," and like parts. It's like in comparison to Bottas, it was like, yeah, I think I did everything right. Like great lap, and then I'm P2, so I don't know what I did wrong.
It's always like that anyway. It's like, great lap.
Yeah.
And, just not good enough.
Just a bit. And I think it was quite the difference, wasn't it? It was 3/10.
It was not that close, yeah. It was a bit,
Yeah. Which, is still, for Bottas, not a great...
it's not optimal. It's
no.
Good. Again, he was unlucky like a lot this season, so...
yeah.
But whatever.
Oh, yeah, he was very unlucky, and even especially on this Sunday as well. Verstappen in P3, pretty close to Bottas.
Yeah.
Looking at the times here. Could have split them. Like I said, he was gonna, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So
it was close.
Fair enough. And then Albon in P4.
Yes. Finally.
It was good.
Finally.
Good.
Not close from Verstappen, but P4. He needed P4. That's the least he can do.
I mean, he's gotten the right position, but he hasn't gotten I think the time 6/10 is still quite a bit off.
Yeah, it's too much for sure. But
exactly.
At least it's P4, so that's half of the job done, I guess.
Yeah. Half of the job done, and
I think the major points were Ferrari, both of them out in Q2. Again, struggling. I mean, Stroll also out in Q2, and then Perez did a good job. 5th.
Perez, great job in 5th.
Weird from Stroll too, because he was like super happy with the car in Q1.
He was like 13th in the end. Yeah,
it was weird.
Ferraris.
It was super. He said like, "Oh, the car is amazing," and
strange
out. So who knows? But I guess a decent qualifying. Nothing special really, except Perez doing a good job. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean Russell managed to get into Q2 as well, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I think he was had some record now that he's like 63 qualifying, like 2-0 with his teammate, and it's like
is it 63 already? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he's also something crazy, and he's like in the same bracket with like Senna and Prost and like some crazy names like that. So
yeah, I think Schumacher's the only one who's like I think it's probably the only statistic that Schumacher is still like number one at. I think is outscoring his teammate. I was going to say it's over 100, but I'm not sure now. Like consecutive races, which is just crazy. But yeah, Russell again.
Yeah, very good. Again, like every
really
week he just does what he can. So
exactly, best he can do with that car, I think, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty much it for me. What
exactly. One more thing I had I think it was FP2, where they had a dog on the track.
Oh yeah, that was last week was the same. Last race, sorry, was the same. There was a dog also in Turkey.
There was also a dog on the.
And apparently the dog this week was found and rescued by like the Bahrain Rescue Association, whatever.
Nice.
And they were asking for a name and stuff. So nice ending to the story, I guess.
Yeah. It was just funny. Vettel like doing his best. Yes. Let the dogs out impression on the radio.
That was very funny. That was
good.
That was very
definitely
one of the radio messages of the year for sure.
It's out there. Yeah. Next to who was it? Was it Norris with his it's Friday then?
That was pretty good too. That's definitely the podium of radio messages for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe that's something we could do at the end of the season. Top 10 radio messages for us this year.
Good idea, for sure.
Good idea. I'll write that down. But yeah, I think that's it for me in terms of free practices and qualifyings.
Yeah, same for me.
Shall we go into the race?
Let's go to the race, I guess.
Let's go to the race. It's a nighttime race in Bahrain, or evening race, I think they're saying. Because
it's evening. Yeah, I think
evening dusk. I mean,
it gets
the moon's
very
out.
dark.
It's
soon,
dark.
So it's dark.
It's a nighttime race, which I think looks absolutely stunning.
They should do more. I love night races.
Yeah,
it looks awesome.
100%. We were talking about doing one in Monaco or something like that.
Yeah, that would be
absolutely
so cool.
stunning. Yeah, so cool. But yeah, that looks absolutely insane. Some of the shots of like the moon and then the whole track like lit up and everything, absolutely beautiful. It was one of those tracks that I don't think had a new surface, but had a really abrasive surface. Yep. So people were looking at tires and tire wear and all that kind of stuff, which I personally find a bit boring. Yeah, but I think a lot of that stuff went out the window in lap 1. And there was a massive crash.
Yeah, that was just
Romain Grosjean.
That was crazy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was the first time in a long time, I think, where we've seen a car go up in flames this quickly.
Yeah, and I think like that scary of a crash, like live, I didn't get scared like that for like. I didn't watch I wasn't like live when Anthony Hubert had this crash in Spa, so I didn't watch it live.
Yeah,
but
I didn't see
that
either
live on TV. Like that's the first time I got like scared like straight away. Like it was like instantly like, God, like that's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely insane. I think from what I gathered, he was trying to avoid traffic in front of him or go around sort of. But on the outside, and
it was weird. There was a debris coming towards him, and I don't know.
Oh yeah, there was also the debris. Yeah,
it was just a weird. I don't know. Maybe he also probably didn't see Fiat there and just tried to avoid people. And
he came across the track at quite a steep angle, and then Kvyat was just right there, which then sort of meant that he had full momentum towards the barrier and couldn't do anything about that. Yeah, couldn't. There wasn't any avoiding actions he could do. And hit one of those like steel barriers. They look kind of similar to the ones you see on normal motorways. Pretty much head on.
Yeah, just higher. It's just higher than the motorways one, but it's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like 3 sort of metal bars. Yeah. And his car like rips in half, which I don't think I've seen ever. Especially not with something like that. And then the second part of the car, with the engine in it and everything like that, is just parked on the track somewhere, and he was just kind of
so confusing.
Gone.
I mean, I didn't see any footage first, so I was like, oh, that's. I mean, on the moment, I was like, that's it. Like we've lost one driver. Like I didn't see how he could survive that. I mean, the explosion straight away was like, that's it. I mean,
it was huge. Yeah, absolutely crazy. And I think. Yeah, from like I think they took a long time on the TV to actually show anything because they weren't sure. They didn't want to show you, like horrible footage.
And then after they showed it a lot too, so it was a bit of like.
Yeah, afterwards they showed it a lot. They're still showing it a lot on all the social media channels, which I think, I don't know. I mean, obviously he survived, and obviously he seems to be doing pretty well with some burns on his hands and most major damage sort of avoided. But it is kind of a, I don't know. There's something about that.
I mean, maybe like a few days afterward, if like fine to like, you know, he's okay and all that stuff, and you can watch it. But I mean, live, I think it's always like, if you think of like the family and like kids and stuff, and you're like, you know, you still don't know really what's, you know, you sometimes, you know, with adrenaline and stuff, you can stand up and walk, and then, you know, like apparently, like I've seen a tweet and he was saying like that he hit the barrier like at 221 kph, and the impact, the G's on the impact were 53 G's on the impact.
Wow, 50. Wow.
Yes. So
that's absolutely crazy.
It's just like you could have gone to a hospital and just like literally had like some internal, like, you know, bleeding or something. You don't know. So it's like, how confident are you to show all this footage like over and over and don't know if it's gonna be fun? So it's like, but it was true, like, it was kind of disturbing. Like the like live was already like, oh, that's, even like the drivers after, like I think watching it were all like shocked. I think anyone there was shocked. And I can't imagine his wife and kids for like
or anyone else's sort of, you know, like close relatives or like partners, family and stuff like that. Yeah, because it was lap 1. Like there were 56 more laps or 55 more laps to go after that, and I think it took them about an hour to sort of clear everything away.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first footage of like the front of the car on the other side, and you could see like the headrest was like, how could that happen? Like, if I think it's not like speculation to say that if the halo wasn't there, he would be dead. I mean, I don't see how he could have survived that. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of people have said like Formula One has taken big steps in the last couple of years. I don't actually know when the halo was introduced. It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I think at first most people didn't like it. They hated it.
Yeah, and Grosjean was saying it like he was not for it, and now he's like alive because of it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think if anyone had any questions, like now, you know, there's no.
I mean, a simple example. I think like if we had the halo like a couple of years ago when Bianchi had his crash, he would be there. He would be here to race.
Yeah,
and exactly. He hit like the tractor like way slower than Grosjean did, and you know that was it. So I can't imagine what would have happened to Grosjean without the halo, because the halo was still in one piece after, which is amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, and like there's not just the impact, but also the heat from the fuel
engineering
going up
behind it is amazing. I mean, the whole like shell of like the main part of the car where they're sitting was like in one piece.
Yeah.
It looked like a bullet, like it went through the barrier, but it was still like intact, which is
it was crazy. I mean, there is the footage where he climbs out of it while it's still all on fire, which is like that blew me away massively because, like you said, you have the impact over 50 Gs, the absolute like flames, and then you also like you're strapped in. Like usually when you see a race driver trying to get out of his car normally is quite, you know, they have the headrest thing and then the seatbelt and everything like that. And then all sorts of tethers and like
steering wheels, water drink,
of course,
drinks, radio, blah blah.
Yeah, and it took him a good couple of seconds to get out of there.
It was
like,
he managed to it was 20 seconds between impact and him out, so that's a long time in the fire. And also, like, I wonder how you don't get knocked out from like the impact. For me, that's insane.
Absolutely insane. Yeah,
maybe it was for like a few seconds, I mean, like 5-6 seconds, and then like. He must have like been like in complete like, you know, shock for like at least 5 seconds or something before like the adrenaline kicked in. It was like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he did, because otherwise if you need to wait until the fire was out to get him out, that would have been, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also like massive respect to like the medical car. I mean, the guy just like the doctor, like Ian Roberts, I think he just literally jumped in the fire. It was like he pointed to the guy like, put your fire extinguisher in there, and he was like in the fire almost. And
you can see like he's struggling to get, like he's got super close, but he's struggling to get any further because of the heat.
Yeah,
and then Roman luckily like pops out. Yeah, like you were saying, it would have been a very different outcome. There's so many variables. If they would have gone slightly wrong, that would have been it. I think he got so insanely lucky, and
I mean, and the medical car was. I think the medical car also wasn't there. Yeah. I don't know how it would have worked. Also, like I don't know if the people that were, you know, the marshal were good, but I mean, I don't know if they're like as good as, you know, the medical car crew.
Yeah, and again, you can't really get any closer. Like there's huge flames that are like super hot. Like you can't just run in.
And also, like, I mean, yeah, if you're not like a normal person, like, you sure you're marshal, you have like training and stuff, but it's still like a very different, like, it doesn't really happen, this kind of incident. So
no.
If you had to wait for like the car to like come all the way from the pits, it would have been probably different. So yeah, a lot of stuff could have happened, but you know, everything worked out perfectly for him to get out of there. So
exactly, yeah. And there's footage of him in the hospital with his hand sort of bandaged up and giving the thumbs up. And this morning, I think there was some more stuff of him sort of
he
sitting
posted
up
again,
yeah. So he
That's
seems
good
to be doing well, considering obviously everything that was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I can't expect him to be back, you know, to do anything for the rest of the season, just because that's probably the it for his F1 career. Also, even if he wasn't like burned or anything, I wouldn't blame him to not just say like, you know, that's it for me, you know.
Yeah.
Also, like, is it the best way to end? Like, you know, you better. Sometimes you want to, you know, if you fall from the horse, you want to get back up just to
get back on. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, there's sort of the very, very different era of like cars and everything like that. But like the sort of crash that happened with Niki Lauda, where he was stuck in the car for way longer. Very different, where he like tried to recover as fast as he could to get back on, you know, on the track. But yeah, like whatever happens, whatever he sort of chooses. I mean, you know.
I mean, maybe they'll like have him in the car for like a testing day or something, just to finish on a good note or something. But I think for like the next 2 weeks, it's I don't know the severity of his burns, but I mean, you don't recover from burns like that in 2 weeks.
No, exactly. You'll have to. Yeah, I think he'd be definitely out for the rest of the season, and I hope to see him again at Formula One at some point. But yeah. But I mean that was the crash, but then I think. Yeah, like the good hour afterwards, I think the seeing everyone in the paddock and seeing all the drivers and stuff like that. Apparently, the atmosphere was just like really
it must
eerie.
Be weird. I mean, no one would. I mean, it was who would want to talk and like, you know, it's just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't keep it sort of light or breezy or whatever. Like you have to.
No, and to focus back on your race is like, you know, you have to focus back and say like, I'm gonna get back out there and just like try to race as hard as I can.
Yeah, exactly. That's
tricky.
That is definitely not easy.
But yeah. And I was like, let's restart. Let's try to do this race nicely. And then I was like, that is not possible. When the yellow flag was out, I was like, okay, fine. And then when they said safety car, I was like, no way.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Like what happened now? What happened now? It was a couple more corners. I felt like, you know, the last time, but like, and it was the same guy. It was Kvyat again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this time with Stroll. Stroll's car got flipped upside down again. The halo.
Yeah,
you know, massive help there.
Also, this time Kvyat was definitely guilty.
Yeah, that's true. He also, I think he got a 10-second penalty. I think for that.
He got a 10-second penalty
for the incident with Stroll. Stroll was alright. There's actually quite a funny radio message of him going, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just upside down." Like, you know.
Yeah, it was like Hulkenberg in Abu Dhabi a few years ago. So
yeah, exactly. So that was good. And again, the first responders, the medical car was pretty much immediately there.
When you think about it, it's like Roma had this huge crash, and I said Stroll had a crash and was like in the same position as Hulkenberg when he got hit by Grosjean in Abu Dhabi. It's just weird. Anyway,
it's a weird kind of thing how that goes. Yeah, but I think from then onwards we didn't have any. If I remember correctly, no big crashes. No,
No, there was nothing really, except the last two. Well, there was no crashes. It was just like a mechanical failure.
Which was such a shame. But yeah, we can talk about the race. It's sort of an absolutely interesting one for me as well, because it was sort of kind of in shock a little bit, you know, and then sort of trying to enjoy the rest of the race. Just felt very different to me. I don't know what it was like for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I tried to get in it for like the first few laps, and then you just like nah. There was not much happening also, so it didn't help to stay focused. And then
it was kind of a weird race because of that 100%. I mean, I've got a couple of things sort of written down. Perez obviously did a great job being in P3 for a lot of the race.
Yep.
And then having that huge engine mechanical failure. I don't actually know what it was in the end. And again, like flames coming out of the back of his car as well. But that was different.
Yeah. Also, he had a really good start. Like the first start was really good for him and Verstappen. and Bottas
Yeah.
sadly not. And somehow
No.
Bottas managed to, they calculated with the second safety car line, so Bottas got back up to 4 for the restart. And Perez again
Similar
had a good start. Albon tried to overtake him on the outside. I was like, ooh, I was excited. I was like, if you pull this off, man, that's a great move, but didn't. Then Bottas, with his great luck this year, had a puncture, so got dropped to like 14th or 16th, I think.
Like almost back of the field. Yeah.
So that was bad for him.
That wasn't great.
Leclerc had a good start too. Also,
Vettel
a good
loved
start,
it.
but Vettel
was
not
so happy about that
at all.
No, it wasn't. Oh my god! And I think because he did it twice to him, I think like the first start, obviously before the incident, I think something similar happened to Vettel where Leclerc squeezed him on the inside, and then Vettel, needed to like back out of it. But he got similar to Bottas. He got kind of lucky because of where they counted sort of positions. He actually started again in front of Leclerc for the second restart. And then similar thing again. But Vettel was very, very annoyed that Leclerc should have just barged in there and then gave him no space. And then I'm pretty sure Vettel was behind the Stroll incident.
He was just behind, so he had to brake almost to a stop.
Sorry, say that again. I've just sort of lost your audio for a couple of seconds.
And I said like he was just behind, so he had to almost stop behind Stroll.
Yeah,
and got flipped. So.
And then he got overtaken by 2 more cars, and then he was like 15th or something like that. So
just not good luck at all for him.
No, definitely.
And then after that, like Leclerc, even if he had a good start and just got a bit cheeky, he was just started falling backwards super fast. Which is really goes to show like the Ferrari just doesn't have. I mean, they have like good like first lap. Apparently, they can get the tires like up there real fast, but then as soon as everyone else is at the same level, they just can't keep up.
No, they just haven't got the straight line speed or anything like that, and very frustrating. I think Vettel was also on the radio saying the car's undrivable or something like that. Like it was like really, really bad. Yeah,
which is a common thing for Vettel this year. The car is not good at all. So
no, exactly.
Hopefully
it was kind
next year, will be better for him.
But. Yeah, it's kind of weird because it was the second time I think in a row where he out-qualified Leclerc. But obviously, this time very different race to last race.
It's a tricky thing also for next year. I think like if you see Perez how he's performing now, even Stroll hasn't had it like that. But it has a decent year, Stroll too. So it's like you don't want Stroll out because he's like young and good for the future and it's not bad. But also like a Perez Vettel team would be interesting. But they're not that young, so it wouldn't be a good investment for the future. But still, like Perez out, it's a bit of a shame.
Is a massive shame for sure because Perez did an amazing drive this weekend and like super performance.
And last weekend too, so it's like
exactly last weekend too.
Tricky.
I don't know. Don't really know.
It's a shame really, and like it ended like that. Like the DNF at 2 laps before that. It was just like
that was such a shame to see, and you could see it coming. Like there was smoke came out a little bit, and then
he tried. He tried.
He just tried to keep going with it until it was like inevitable, and he had to pull over.
It was
like
too much. Yeah, and then Albon, I think Albon overall was like, I don't know. I don't understand how he was like that far from Verstappen. Like why couldn't he keep up with the Racing Point? Like at least be close to it, And also counting that Verstappen had a bad pit stop. Which he could. That's why also he couldn't race much with Hamilton, and even with the bad pit stop, like a 3 second more than Albon just after, like it still was like 25 seconds behind or something, almost 30 seconds behind Verstappen. And constantly, I think it wasn't closer than like 3.5 seconds from Paris. Which, I mean, he got again good because he was there to get the points where someone had a problem, so that's what he needs to do. But he needs to do that when it's a Mercedes, not a Racing Point. He should be in front of the Racing Point.
Yeah, he should have been in front of the Racing Point. Yeah, but it feels like that he's staying. I don't know what you think.
It feels like that.
If you heard anything different,
it very much feels like that. Also, it's weird because like I remember like Gasly at Red Bull, and then even now like he's super harsh on himself. Like when he does something bad, he's like, no, he says like he was bad and stuff. Albon doesn't seem like that. Like even like when he was doing bad, it was like still like I see progress. I'm doing better, and like which is good. Like don't put yourself down, but it's like he doesn't. I don't know if he I don't know if he's really that happy with himself. It looks like he's happy with himself. You know what I mean? But it's not that good.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to see, especially the two different ones, Verstappen and Albon, in the same team. But yeah, like his answers are always very like, yeah, that was alright. You know, we're making good progress. I'm going.
It's very positive always, and it's like
yeah. But he could be P13 or P3, right? Like I feel like the answer is kind of the same. Yeah. I picked up on that as well. That is kind of weird.
It's a bit weird. It's like, are you really that happy with yourself? And it's like that. No, but I don't know. It's a weird way. Maybe it's just a PR thing to be in front of the press, and then maybe he's a bit harsh on himself. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
At least Gasly was like a bit more transparent about how he felt, or maybe Albon is just like happy with himself, and then that weird too because like not that good. So definitely needs to do better. And I think next year is definitely like, I think even, I don't think like if there is no progress in the first like half of the season, I don't know if he's going to stay for the second half of the season.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the same thing next year where every race will speculate. Is he going to be gone? Are they going to swap him out? Unless he can be consistently...
This year I knew they were going to wait until the end of the year, but then next year it's like one more year, and if he doesn't do anything better, like you're going to do a full year. Because also like the weird thing is like, yeah, sure, keep him, but the problem is like, remember that in 2022 you don't have any more Honda power, so it's like a big interrogation mark on like what's the future of Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so it's like, do you want to maximize next year? It's like, what's the deal, you know? Really weird. I don't know, Red Bull.
Yeah, it's a shame because Red Bull is like, I don't know, one of my great team, like, you know, the way they sort of managed and like their history and where they came from and stuff like that. You know, they've been really fun to watch. And I really hope that they can keep going beyond that when they unfortunately lose Honda as their engine manufacturer.
That's a shame. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be tricky for them.
100%.
Because like no Ferrari or Mercedes wants to, you know, they're too good to have, you know, that good of an engine. So
I mean, they can have a Ferrari power, but I don't think they want that.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. I don't know. In 2022 is it's going to be weird. I don't know, but
for sure. Looking forward to it already though. Yeah.
It's going to be weird though, because like, you know, it's like even it's going to be a mess. I think end of 2021 will be very interesting, even half of the year, because it's like what Verstappen will do. Like, you know, if there is not a clear plan for Red Bull, and like, because they already convinced Verstappen to stay, I think, saying like, we're going to have Honda power is going to be great. And you're going to be a world champion with us with Honda and Red Bull. And now it's like, well, what can you offer? You know, like, you don't have any more engine, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And like Verstappen, like, must be getting so frustrated, because in the interview it was like, yeah, well, for the qualifying anyway, I was like, you know, I'm third.
Yeah, and even the race in the car,
Mercedes.
And in the car he was saying like, that's what it is, and I was like, yeah, second, that's what it is. So you feel him like not that happy.
No, exactly. Yeah, but and he is 100% thinking like, what are the options? Where can I go? Like, if there was a seat at Mercedes and they would offer it to him, I'm sure he'd take it. Like,
I think next year is going to be massive though. Like if Bottas doesn't again does the same as this year, and then it's like 2022 is Lewis staying, and then if there's a seat free, you know, if Mercedes can get a Max Verstappen in that car to replace Lewis, that would be a good switch, I think, for them. But also, right, like, I hope Red Bull will be able to stay performing though. Like, I hope it's not going to be like the downfall of Red Bull.
I agree. Yeah, it'd be shame to see them go, because they brought a lot to the sport, and it was really nice to see a new team to come in like that.
I don't think go, but I think like a Williams kind of deal. You know, I mean, like,
that's worse than going.
Also, it's gonna be weird because of all the new rules and stuff. So it's like, you know.
Yeah. You never know. Like, usually the field is shuffled quite a bit with like completely new regulations.
Even next year will be interesting already. Like, there's gonna be huge changes.
But I think Mercedes have got they're already working on it, like, you know.
And they tested the tires way more. Like, they were the tire test this weekend, and they were like testing way more than the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're like, I feel like they're way ahead already again.
But
just the testing.
Also, the weird thing is like, so there's a budget cap, which is, you know, like 150, I think, or something. But it's like, how do you compress like the 450 that they had before to 150 and keep the same employees, the same amount of employees, that's weird to me. It's like, how do you do that? It's like, is the
Yeah,
employee thing
you don't.
and fine, or is it just like like they put like research, so that costs money, like like hardware, or is it like I don't know, weird. Interesting to see like how they're gonna even Ferrari too, like how they're gonna downgrade to like a smaller team, I guess. So weird, very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think they have to let people go, and I think hopefully it's gonna make.
No one talked about that, to be fair. Like I didn't hear anything about like. It's always like, it's great, we're gonna have budget caps, and it's like, but no one is talking about like, are people gonna be fired because of that?
They're gonna have to be, like, you can't slash a budget in half and expect everyone to stay there.
Yes.
But I think there's sort of like there's certain things where it don't fall into that.
Like
budget
stuff. Maybe there is. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know.
So yeah, we'll definitely. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'm again super excited, and the gap is this year's obviously going to be quite short, like the winter gap, because they had announced the races for next year already.
Yep. Australia, like early March, Australia is there.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Again, hopefully, you never know.
Hopefully. I mean, that's only like 4 months away now, or 3 and a bit. That's not that long, considering what happened last time around. So I just hope it's going to be a sort of a smoother season, even though I absolutely love this season with all the new tracks and all the like random bits and pieces.
I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad that we're going back to like normal. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, me too. There's some races I'm looking forward to, like Monaco. Definitely looking forward to.
There was excitement, though. You know what I mean? Like an unknown and like a new track, and who knows? And
new track, new surface. That was. It's going to be. I think it's probably going to go down as like one of the craziest seasons in history for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's going to stay in history for sure. Like
100%.
Even more with Lewis getting the 7th world title. That's just even more reason to keep it in history.
Exactly.
But then also very exciting next week. That's one of the races I was most excited about, like the weird track, the very weird and short
the triangle track or oval.
Also,
track.
what a weird track for Pietro Fittipaldi to start in a F1 car. That's gonna be weird. I mean, that's probably the weirdest track you can start your career at.
100%. Yeah.
Just flat out. Very tricky.
I don't even like. I haven't really got an idea of how that's going to unfold.
I mean, downforce like is going to be like turned to the minimum. It's going to be like straight line speed to the max.
Yeah, it's just straight line speed, isn't it? Yeah. So it's great for Ferrari. Oh wait, no, probably not. So Ferrari's going to be even further behind.
Are they going to make Q2?
Mercedes. Do you reckon they will make Q2?
I don't know.
Or
will they just
I don't know.
be out in Q3? That's in Q1. Sorry,
We should definitely do predictions again. I was just going to say, is there anything that we haven't covered for this race before we jump on to next race?
I don't think so. I think we talked. Yeah, when Lewis won again.
The Ferrari boys quite far back.
Again, he says it was a tricky race. I didn't see it as a tricky race for him, but I mean, sure. Maybe he's too humble.
I love it. Like, he didn't know wheel-to-wheel combat or anything, Still always seconds ahead, like plenty, of time. It can always respond, but he's like, tricky race this, like super hard. Like, I just, it's like, really?
It was a very hard race. Red Bull was very fast. I was like, really? Like, you were 25 seconds ahead at the end. Like,
yeah, exactly. So was it like, are you sure? I hope that next race is going to be a bit more.
Because I think it will, though. I think it will. If you can keep up, like, I think the DRS is going to be massive. Like, just if you can keep it, like, in the 1 second behind. Also, like, is degradation going to affect a lot because of tire wear, like an abrasive track? I don't know. It's going to be weird because it's a lot of very high speed. It's going to be a super high speed track. So, the more you go faster, like the faster you go, the more degradation you get, and also the track. I don't know how many pit stop will it need because it's like 84 laps or something like that.
It's something crazy, isn't it? Yeah. I don't think I've written it down.
So that's a lot of laps, and
I
don't know the average speed, but it's going to be a very fast track, like probably above like 200 kph average around, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's really like 3 straights and like a tiny wiggly line at the top.
And in the wiggly line there's like 1 braking zone in there. That's it.
Is there? Oh yeah, there's chicane at the end by the looks of it. Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Man. Oh, it's going to be so good.
I don't know. It's
it's the closest.
It's weird to predict anything. It's gonna be. I don't know.
Yeah, let's do some predictions anyway while we're at it.
We can do. Let's change it up. Let's do like a top 5 prediction.
Top 5, okay, for both qualifying and race.
Sure. Why not? Yeah.
Sure. Oh, top 5. Oh, so many names. I know who's not going to be in there. Ferrari.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to go super traditional.
Okay.
Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen for my top 3. And then I'm going to say Perez and Albon. Albon 5th, Perez 4th for qualifying.
I like how you wrote. Yeah. I like how you wrote Albon.
Hey.
What can I say? So I'm gonna go for. I think Hamilton for sure. I think yes. I think the top 3 the same as you, but then I would say. Sadly, I want Albon to be out there, but I don't think. I think the racing points are really something to get. So I would say like a Perez Stroll.
Perez Stroll. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do me. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Do you want to do the race predictions?
Cool. Let's say. I mean, it's such a weird. I have no idea how it's gonna work out. Like, is it gonna be easy to overtake? Not. I don't know. It's weird.
I have no idea. Probably because like we had the long straight on this one, and that's where a lot of the overtakes will happen. After the DRS on the long straight. So
it's going to be depending on how much advantages Mercedes had. If they can fly out and like be like more than a second ahead, then it's going to be.
What's the most someone has ever lapped someone else? 2 laps? 3 laps? What can Hamilton do in this race?
The thing is, like, if they all can stay like behind each other, then it's going to be a very tight race. Like, I mean, maybe we could see like no one get lapped, maybe.
Or that, yeah, or the opposite, yeah, 100%.
But it's short. No, it's too much of a short track for anyone to get lapped. Though it's like 55 seconds, so it's like almost impossible. But anyway, I'll say. I mean, how could you not say Hamilton and Bottas though? You know what? No.
Yeah. Well.
No, I would say no. I would say Bottas is gonna be like super like. Keenan is gonna be. He's gonna go deep in the first corner, take out Hamilton. They're gonna be both out. But like a gentle like a very gentle crash, like I don't know, Lewis Rosberg kind of, nothing bad.
Yeah, where they sort of slowly come to a stop, but they can't keep going. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, 100%. I'm there with you.
Okay, and then after that, let's say Verstappen is gonna struggle because the rest of them are very fast. So let's say Perez first, just so he goes out on a bank, and then Perez. Verstappen because he's and then the McLarens were good, so I'll say Norris.
Okay, Norris.
And then also for
Perez,
top
Verstappen,
5, so
Norris. Oh,
Perez, Verstappen, Norris.
That would be a great podium.
Stroll, Sainz.
Stroll and Sainz.
Yeah, I didn't put Albon. Sorry, but yeah, it's whatever.
I'll be alright.
He'll be fine. I'll probably be in the top 5 though. But
yeah, I think
just to be crazy, I'll just put that.
I don't know. I think Verstappen is going to get it over. Maybe that's Mercedes reliability issues. Ooh. Not a thing we usually see. Verstappen over Hamilton. Bottas 3rd.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because straight line, and Verstappen's like way more aggressive than Hamilton needs to be. Or
Hamilton is kind of a smooth driver, like a fast.
And I think because Verstappen is so aggressive and can be so aggressive, maybe has got a bit of an edge.
Also,
because straight line speed on the Red Bull is good.
Manages to pull like a good engine, like and have a good straight line speed, Ricciardo is gonna be a threat in like the deep like braking zone.
Yeah, right. Like late on the brake. All right, okay. So I've got Verstappen, Hamilton, Bottas, Perez, and then Ricciardo.
Just to be fair, I'll switch mine. Just to be fair, I'll put Perez, Verstappen, Norris, Albon, Stroll, just because.
Stroll. Okay. Albon and Stroll.
Albon and Stroll. Yeah, just because it's let's be fair with him.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, whatever happens, I'm super excited to see it. I hope that there's not going to be another crash like we had this weekend. That was
especially
horrendous.
because it's going to be a super high speed one.
That.
So yeah,
exactly. And I'm sure they'll do as much work as they can to look at all the barriers and like.
Oh, they're definitely going to put like some special thing on like the FAA is going to be out there like trying to put more safety equipment on every places. So for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It was good to see that Grosjean was alright after that.
That was the main thing. Yeah, literally was the.
I can definitely do without those kind of crashes and those pictures.
Sure. Yeah, definitely the one to see
for
that.
Good clean race.
And also, like I was thinking, like, man, French drivers and like crazy. I mean, the last two we lost in single seater were like French drivers, like Jules Bianchi and Antoine Hubert, and then almost Grosjean. Like that was like, what is up with French people? Just anyway. No good. Anyway.
No, definitely.
I'm very glad it ended up being really good because otherwise it would have been a very sad day. But
absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
But anyway, let's end up on a good thing. We are very excited for next week. That's what matters.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to this. And then so we're back to back. Next every weekend before Christmas, effectively, is Formula One, which is a Christmas miracle in itself. So
very much that will be the end.
Exactly, the end of the 2020 season. All right, good. It was good talking to you, Matt.
Yep,
as always.
Talking to you too. Yeah, we shall see each other next week then.
Exactly. All right, take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.